Let's talk about the cucumber. I've got one right here. It's fresh picked from the garden. It's about 6 inches long. A lot of people that don't have gardens buy their cucumbers from the store. Now, commercially grown cucumbers, in order to preserve them and make them look pretty, they put a food grade wax on the cucumber. Like I said, it makes it look pretty. It allows it to stay preserved a little bit longer. It doesn't get all wrinkly. In that case, when you buy the cucumber, you rinse it off really, really good. If you go out in your garden and you pick a 6-inch cucumber, then all you have to do is rinse it off and eat it. I've always just wiped mine off and started eating it fresh, just like that. But the cucumber, the nutrients of a cucumber, the nutrients are in the peel and in the seed. So if you take this cucumber and you cut the ends off, this dark end here, the part of the cucumber that you took from the vine, this tends to be a little bitter, so you take a 1/2 inch off. This end over here, I don't find bitter. Some people do. But if you pick a cucumber from your garden, you cut the ends off, you peel it, and then you cut it in half lengthwise. You take a spoon and you scoop out the seeds. So you discard the ends, the peel, and the seeds, and then just eat the white part of the cucumber. Well, you're not getting any nutrition because the peel and the seeds are where all the nutrition is, or 99% of the nutrition is in a cucumber. So I knew someone once that was a self-proclaimed guru. He knew how to eat right, and he bragged a little bit. I watched him one day take a cucumber, cut the ends off, peel it, cut it down the center lengthwise, took a spoon, scraped all the seeds out, took that part and threw it in the garbage, and held up the two pieces of cucumber, the two halves of cucumber, and said, "This is how you eat right." Well, he threw the good stuff in the garbage, folks. He didn't even compost it. So I hope people do their research, find out. A lot of times the peel is the most nutritious part of a vegetable. So if you peel something and you throw it away, that's the end of it. If you choose to peel it and you put it in your compost pile, at least you're getting something out of that. So basically what he was eating was empty calories. It might have been refreshing. Cucumbers tend to be quite refreshing to eat on a hot day, and you have a cool cucumber. Cucumbers are very low in calories. A cucumber this size here, it's what, about 6 inches? That's about 20 calories right there. So, folks, if you want the nutrition of a cucumber, then leave the peel on the cucumber, wash it real good, rinse it off, and eat the seeds and the peel right along with the cucumber itself. Otherwise, you're just eating the taste of a cucumber, and you're throwing all the nutritious part in the garbage. At least throw it in a compost pile, where the compost pile is going to benefit from some of that nutrition, right? If you're not going to feed and nourish yourself, at least feed and nourish a compost pile. So 20 calories, all in a 5-gallon bucket of water from under my eaves over here to the birds. That just burned 6-inch cucumber for calories. So a lot of people think that a vegetable is a vegetable is a vegetable. No, there's a lot of nutrition. There's a lot of nutritional value in a lot of things that you grow. But if you're going to peel or scrape away all the nutrition, then I hope you enjoy that vegetable, because that's all you're going to get out of it. It's just the flavor of it. So if you're going to eat something, make it beneficial for you and your system. So I don't find anything wrong with that cucumber. A lot of people won't pick a cucumber that is curved up on either end. And a curled cucumber in the garden could mean a few things. It could mean that the plant isn't doing all that great. It could mean that it needs a regular watering system. Watering inconsistently will cause misshapen vegetables, especially cucumbers. They tend to be dry and they tend to be bitter. So, but when we're going through a drought like this and it's been so hot, you water when you can, preferably at dark and before the sun comes up, or as the sun comes up and as the sun goes down. That's the best time. And in my opinion, it's always best to water a lot rather than a little several times a day. Deep water, in my opinion, is what your plants like most. That's what my plants like most. So there's that. At 6 o'clock this morning, the people that wanted some of my geese, my baby geese, they took the baby geese this morning. So I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I'm left with one baby, and the rest are adults. So that's good. One baby, 2 last year's goslings, and the rest are adults. We are bone dry, folks. My garden, really, my back lawn is all brown. It's crunching under the feet. I had to do a real close by errand, and almost every lawn that I saw was all brown. So that's what, a lot of times what happens is we mow too short, so we don't have to mow as often. But if we mow too short and the rain stops, so we don't have a way to water the lawn, and not many Mainers up here water our lawns. We cut it too short, there's no rain, we get into a drought, and it gets crunchy and crispy. So there is that. The male duckling that I showed in another video, that duckling, I had to take care of it this morning. It died in the night. So, and I was expecting that. So that's just part of raising anything and everything. Nothing is guaranteed. Just like up in your garden, you plant a seed, it might start, it might sprout, and then it might die for any varying reasons, whether it's neglect, whether a disease, whether a drought, over too much rain. Everything has a life cycle, folks, and some life cycles are shorter than others, and others seem to be a whole lot longer than the average. Everything takes its last breath that breathes air. A blade of grass only has a life cycle. A tree has a life cycle. A blueberry bush, a cucumber plant has a life cycle. Ducks have their life cycle, and humans have our life cycle. So that's why it's important to live your fullest, be the happiest you can, be the best person that you can be, because life is way too short, and why not make the best of every bit of it while you're here? Why not? It's the one life you're given in this time. Why not make it the best one you can have? Why not? I think I deserve it, and I think you all deserve it. Doesn't matter what you may or may not have done in the past, any mistakes that anybody has made. People change if they want to change. And I believe that a lot of people that started out wrong, if they want to right that wrong, they can do it by changing. But they've got to want to do it, and they've got to want to work at it. So life is too short to go around being miserable. Life is too short to make life more complicated than it needs to be. There's never any room for drama. There's never any room for hate in my book. And no matter what you believe, love, kindness, compassion, understanding should be right up there. That's just my opinion. So, but then again, I'm a 60-year-old in a funny looking hat with sweat rolling down her face, standing by the woodpile underneath two spruce, talking about cucumbers. Some people may not have known about the cucumber. Well, now you know. Now you know, right? Bye, folks.